Hi, my name is Jvanni, and I'm here with my two audience members, my mom and my dad. And today I'll talk about my speech. Is anxiety the new family heirloom? Monkey see, monkey do. If I jumped off a bridge, would you join too? Anxiety is meant to seem as is this family illness that gets passed down like a lunch line. But do you have to get each serving and eat it as well? I'm here to argue that anxiety is not hereditary. It's relevant because people are quick to blame signs on just being because it's in the family, when it's not a consistent chain reaction or a choice. It's something that's a changing cause and effect, and it needs to be treated seriously and taken that way. So, in this speech, I will inform you on how anxiety stems from life experiences as it changes just as our genes do. Even if you're a carrier, it doesn't mean that you'll get it. And then a formal counter argument from a testimony from a physician. For the first point, anxiety stems from life experiences and environments. The Journal of Korean Medical Science says that anxiety isn't seen through the genes like eye color. It's something that even if it's not there, it can show because of the environment. A 2011 study with a similar mix of genes showed that whether you had anxiety in your genes or you did not have it in your genes, that it still relies on the environment or the things that you experience to become active. So whether having a phobia or PTSD or anything like that, it's solely based off of what you went through. The University of Copenhagen states that a stressful environment is responsible for changes in the genetic structure. So this often begins during fetal development where it's the most crucial. So if you have a hard or rough or stressful pregnancy, that's already rewiring the baby's composition in its mind to already become stressed. And signs and symptoms can show later on in life when they're about 8 or 9 years old. And methamphetamine abuse, which is obviously changing the composition and brain structure all on its own. My second point is as environments change, so do our genes. It follows the same theory of evolution. The National Academy of Sciences of the United States of America shows that epigene serves as the intermediary between genes and our environment, meaning that they play the monkey in the middle. What epigenes do is they're capable of turning on or off certain segments of our DNA to make us susceptible or resistant to certain things. Epigenes are inheritable, meaning that you can't get it from your family. And it's only environmentally modifiable, meaning that it can only change, it can only come up or become a factor depending on your environment. A book that was published in 2015 called The Gene Therapy Plan is a book about a diet that shows that changes can regulate the brain and body composition simply by the foods that you eat, which proves the point that it's environmentally controlling anxiety. For example, if you eat a watermelon, that has amino acids that can help boost serotonin, which helps prevent anxiety and other disorders like depression. Now, even as a genetic carrier of anxiety, it doesn't mean that you will positively get it. The UC Davis Institute talks of chromosome 22q11.2 deletion syndrome anxiety. And this is simply just stating where exactly the coordinates of the missing DNA is. It appears as an autosomal dominant fashion, meaning that if you look at a Punnett square, it's going to show as a capital. So you can either have a parent that is double dominant and double recessive, and it can go from 25 to 100% that the child will be a carrier or predisposed to anxiety, or it can be a dominant recessive and double recessive, showing that it's only a 50% chance that they will actively get anxiety, or if it's a double recessive, 50% that they won't have anything predisposed to it at all. In a study, it shows that 90 to 95% of anxiety cases are due to spontaneous mutation. So even if they're a completely double recessive, no chance at all, depending on what you experience, what you're exposed to, how you live, it can spontaneously cause the mutation that you can then forth say that you have anxiety in your genes. In a study, 78 7 to 15-year-olds that were positive for the gene and 36 normal 7 to 15-year-olds were all tested in a collaboration. 58% had at least one marker for anxiety, but out of that 58%, only 19% were actually diagnosed. And now for the counter argument. It comes from a family physician, Dr. Copeland, and she tells about how her mom had extreme anxiety. Having two kids, her sister had anxiety. She did not. Her sister only got anxiety after menopause, meaning that a brain, body, hormone composition was already changed, meaning that's environmental. It was nothing genetic. Of Dr. Copeland's two daughters, only one had anxiety from birth, even with a healthy pregnancy. So even though there may be a line, it doesn't mean that you must have it. So after learning all these factors, will you accept the gift? The choice is yours. Thank you.